So I played The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion for the very first time in 2023. I know, I'm way behind. But I really enjoyed playing Skyrim and wanted to play more in the world of Tamriel, so I bought Oblivion on Steam and the rest is history. Despite some of its flaws, like the combat, I enjoyed the game overall. The NPCs are a little quirky, but I love them. It makes for a very entertaining playthrough.
By the way, do you happen to know what the fine is here in Cyrodiil for necrophilia? Just asking.
There was one thing that immediately piqued my interest when I first began my playthrough: the artwork and user interface. Hear me out, I think the user interface design of Oblivion is better than Skyrim. So a major difference that I noticed is the inventory. Your inventory in Oblivion, referred to as your journal, has a scroll-like background, which makes sense, has 2D drawings for each item, and has icons for the different sections within your journal, all with the same art style. Meanwhile, Skyrim's inventory interface has a blank background and 3D models for each item. From an objective standpoint, having the actual game model is pretty useful since you can look at an item up close, but from an artistic standpoint, I think having the drawings for each item and category just further adds to that medieval fantasy vibe and does make it feel more like a journal. While I do think the Skyrim inventory is much more practical and easier to use, I think it could have used a teensy more magic with the design.
Yeah, sure, but where's the pizzazz?
Plus, I really like that in Oblivion you can actually see your character off to the side in your inventory. Not exactly UI related, but still a bonus. The main menu, loading screens, map, character creation, font, quest notifications, and, well, all of the designs of this game have the same look and theme, which I think really adds to the game's immersion. You feel like you're the hero of Kvatch in the Third Era, in the magical, yet racist, province of Cyrodiil.
I'm Darji. I'm a Kaji in disguise. Want to see me lick my butt?
I'm Divines. You're an ugly one. And female, no less. But then, all orcs are ugly. The most repulsive race in all of Tamriel, really.
I know the Khajiit are all upset that the council took away their land and gave it to us. But they just have to get over it. It's our land now.
The cover art and game manual even have the same scroll-like design. It's awesome. Every symbol, item, and skill has a fantasy-like drawing. It just feels magical. It feels like a fantasy RPG. Skyrim just doesn't quite have that magical feeling to it from a UI design standpoint. Another major element of UI is art. Of course, I mentioned art a little bit when talking about the inventory and all the game's symbols, but the other pieces of artwork in this game are fantastic. When you select or create your character's class at the beginning of the game, each class has its own piece of art. You also select your character's birth sign, which has really cool artwork with constellations on them. And of course, the arena poster seen throughout the Imperial City goes so hard. Like, I need this poster in real life. The concept art is really awesome too, and some of these images even have that scroll-like background. Now, of course, I am not dunking on Skyrim at all. That game has a great UI design as well, but I think Oblivion did a better job of really encapsulating the Elder Scrolls. The design choices play more into the magic and whimsy of the universe in Oblivion. Pulling up your inventory feels like you're reading off of a scroll or looking inside your magical journal.
I hate books.
Versus a screen with some text off to the side. Video game UI is important, but it can be easily overlooked. You don't always think too much about loading screens or inventory interfaces, they kinda take the back seat. But when it's done right, with a theme-fitting design as seen in Oblivion, you feel more engrossed in the world you're playing in. I'm doing all this yapping because I love both of these games, and I think the UI and artwork are a little underappreciated in Oblivion. The Elder Scrolls 6, which who knows when that'll even come out, should really take notes from the user interface design of the Elder Scrolls 4. My ideal user interface would be taking the practicality of Skyrim's UI, but using the fantasy design from Oblivion and kind of mushing it together. Todd, I really hope you're taking notes.
What? That really pisses me off.